Now we're going to cover the power swing. And the power swing is a little different than the Russian swing. The first difference is we're going to shorten the height. We're only going to make sure that the height of the kettlebell is shoulder height. We're not going to bring it to eye level, so it's going to be right here. Also, we're not going to just let gravity take the kettlebell down. We're going to actively push it down. This does two things. One, by limiting our range, yeah, we could do more reps in less time. Also, by pushing it down, we could do more reps in less time. So it really increases the intensity of the two-arm swing. So this is what it looks like. You know, you just start off just like you're doing like the regular Russian swing, right? Here, then limit the height, push it down. Just like that. It's a lot more grip intensive also, and it's a really good exercise. What we're going to do now is I'm going to have Richie come in and I'm going to show you how we're going to get there. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to set the height of the kettlebell with my hand. So Richie's just going to swing right to that height. So it's shoulder height for him, right? Boom. That's it. Then after a couple swings, I'm going to just put a little downward pressure, just a little bit, and just making sure that, you know, he's moving good, his breathing's good. And that's it. So he gets used to a little more pressure with the kettlebell going down. Good. So I'm constantly checking his mechanics while he's moving. Looks good. Now that our clients, they're used to controlling that, you know, the downward pressure and making sure they're, you know, checking their form, making sure that they have good back alignment. What we're going to do is we're going to have them practice it, and we'll just identify common errors and we'll address them as we go. So first thing here is now that you know, we already did that one drill. Now Richie's he's gonna work on the power swing. Okay. So go ahead. That's it. It's always good to get a couple swings going, get your breathing dialed in, then push it down and explode back out. There you go. Good. Okay. Good. Put it down. Okay. We got a couple things going on, and it's real common that people whenever you change something with your hands, they forget about the hip extension. You know, Richie's hips, they're almost there, but not quite. So we're going to address that first. Okay, we want to make sure we get the hips locked out nice and straight. So we're just going to go to the deadlifting drill, going back to the deadlift always. So Richie's just going to just deadlift the weight, right? Boom, and he's going to hold the top position. When he's holding top position, we'll make sure the glutes are really tight, okay? And to ensure that they're tight, you know, you can give them a boot, you know, in the butt and make sure they're tight, okay? And notice, it's like, when I give the boot, it's just like, it's just a tap. I'm not winding up and drilling them, right? Also, you know, you can use a clipboard, you can use your fist, you know, probably inappropriate in a lot of levels, slap somebody on the butt, you know what I mean? With an open palm, you don't want that. So, yeah. So anyway, you know, this is what we want. So we want them to be, you know, ensure that that's the top position. So go back, do a couple swings, Rich. There you go. That's it. And push down. So it's looking good. There you go. Nice. Notice the sequences. He's getting there, push, then his hips go out at the last second. Push, then hips. Push, then hips. Excellent. Good. Put it down. Excellent. Good. Now, if for some reason, you know, his hips still, you know, if he wasn't getting the lockout, then I'd just go back to the Russian swing. I'd just kind of step back and say, hey, you know what? Do a couple of Russian swings, Rich. So just do a couple. So in this time here, when he's doing the Russian swing, it's going to be the exact same thing. You know, I want to give him the opportunity to make sure his hips are nice and straight. You know, if his hips aren't straight, I could give him a boot in the butt while he's at the top position. Okay? Okay, good. Put it back down. So he's got good hip drive. We fixed that problem. In that common error, I just call it short stroking. And basically what it is this. Instead of being here, they're like, they stop right there, and you'll see that bend in their hip, and you don't want that. So just fix it with the deadlift, make sure the butt's tight, then repeat the drill. Okay, if you notice, this is another common error. See how that kettlebell is like floating up, is flopping around? Yeah, we don't want that. Good. Put it down for a second. Well, what's happening there is Rich, he's keeping a loose grip on it. We want to make sure the grip is tight. When that kettlebell gets to the top portion, you got to lock it down nice and tight, okay? It's okay to have a little bend in the elbows too. Sometimes some people try to keep them locked out, and you know, it's going to be hard to push it back down. So, but you want to make sure everything is nice and tight, elbows are down. But when that kettlebell gets to the top, put the death grip on it. It shouldn't flop, it shouldn't move. So just want to do a couple, keep a nice death grip on it. There you go. That's it. Good. And put it down. Excellent. And the thing is when you put that kettlebell down after doing the power swing, you should feel your grip should be smoked, forearms should be smoked. You should feel it in your lats, abs. You feel it all over. So you want to make sure it's tight. It shouldn't be flopping on the way up. Also, it shouldn't be flopping on the bottom position. Some people are like, hey, that kettlebell's hit me in the butt, like in the tailbone. Like, really? It's like, oh, it shouldn't. You know what I mean? Put the grip on the bottom, put the grip on the top. It shouldn't be flopping in either direction. Okay, this next common error, I see all the time, and this is one you really want to nip in the bud quickly because it's a bad error. Basically, what happens is, and I'll explain it, then I'll have Richie demonstrate it, but I want you to look for it while he's doing it because I don't want him to do a lot of reps with this because I don't want to injure him. What happens is when a lot of times people, instead of coming up and keeping this locked, right, and push, then to get the hips back, what they'll do is this, they'll be here, either they short stroke it, or even if they get that full hip extension, they'll bring their hips back first, then push, right? So here's the common error. They'll be here, hips are first, then they're pushing. Dude, and it's like a whiplash effect on your whole spine. You see bright lights of bright flashes of lights. It's not good. So I'm just gonna have them quickly demonstrate that, so you know like what it looks like. It looks weird, and I'll show you how to fix it real quick. Okay. And that's it. See how those hips are moving before he's pushing? Okay, stop. Okay. Yeah, you get that weird slinky effect. So you don't want that. So what you have to do is really, explain to him, hey, this is what I want. You could have him do that deadlifting drill again. Your hips should be locked, and this is what I want. It's like those hips stay locked. You push, then the hips go back. So I find that giving him a verbal cue as they're moving usually helps. And I tell him, do not move your hips back till I tell you to move them. Okay? So Richie will set it up, and I'll just start explaining and talking to him as he goes. So there you go. So full hip extension, right? Push, then hips back. Full hip extension, push, then hips back. That's it. There you go. Push, then hips. Push, then hips. Push, then hips. See how that works? That's what you want. Okay? Good. Put it down. And it just takes time. Be patient. But man, you want to nip that whiplash effect in the bud as quick as possible.